What's going on, guys? It's Dave Bawa with Remax the Local Realty. This is the first episode of the Dave Bawa Homes podcast. Today, I have a very special guest on the podcast, the first ever. I'm super blessed. He's a very close friend of mine. Introducing to you all, Romi Gill. What's going on, bro?
What's up, everybody?
What's going on, man?
Chilling, man. Thanks for inviting me out.
Thanks for coming by.
Lots to talk about and chill and catch up. And
Absolutely. First off, I think it's good to lay some groundwork. First off, thanks for coming, man. You've always been a friend who's supported my business. You've been, I think, one of the first guys who ever sent me a referral.
I think so.
Guy who was like, "Do you need to deal with my friend?"
What do I do with this?
Yeah, you need to deal with my friend. He's a really good realtor. He hasn't sold any houses, and you need to work with him. So you've always been a great supportive friend, and you're starting off this podcast. So I'm blessed, bro. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. It's gonna be fun.
So should we tell them how we
met,
or our love story, our origin story,
how we fell in love?
Yeah.
How it was a traditional Hindi movie scene.
Yeah. Should we tell them?
Yeah, absolutely. We lost a lot of weight running around those trees while I chased you trying to kiss your
lips.
Yeah,
me a little less than you apparently, but hey, that's the way the things go. Me and Romi met.
We met at Brown's.
No,
it was before that.
No,
through Sim.
Langley, Willowbrook Drive. The Denny's, which used to be like Grill.
Rockford's Grill.
Because you used to work at.
I used to work at the Willowbrook branch. TD. And
you were like frontline Willowbrook branch.
I was the man.
2011,
2013 I was there.
But I met you when you first started.
2011. Sorry. Lose track of time sometimes. I was 21.
Yeah, when I first moved here. And then you were just a
junior sales there.
What's that?
I was a financial service representative for TD at the time. And I had just been promoted from being a teller at the Rodeo Square branch TD, and that's where I started banking.
Yeah.
And I remember my manager came up to me and he said, Romi, we need more Punjabi-speaking apne in sales. And I was going to school for...
In Langley, in 2011.
This is in Surrey still.
Oh, because you started at a different TD.
I was at a TD at Rodeo Square, 152 and Highway 10.
Okay.
And I remember... I was going to school for criminology.
Still not a predominantly Punjabi community at the time.
It was growing.
Yeah, it was growing.
Our safety deposit boxes were getting packed up.
With Sona
coming from the King George branches and the Scott Road branches.
That they forget they have.
Absolutely.
You
reminded me I got to go check up on my safety deposit box. And I work at the bank.
Let's just take a second to talk about Punjabis and safety deposit boxes.
They think there's armored guards 24/7.
Yeah.
Watching your safety deposit box. Individually.
And why would you buy jewelry if you're never going to wear it?
Do you know how many times people come in banging the door at 8 o'clock to say, Paji, meri India di flight kalu swere ya, menu passport chaida? Mera box de vich ya.
No,
sorry.
No. I'm saying no. This not, you're lying.
Once a week when I was a teller. Once a week. People were traveling to India and their passports, their permanent residency cards, their papers on their house, their birth certificates.
We need to learn.
Stuffed it all in there.
Our community needs to learn.
Don't.
Stop.
They just think that...
Just keep it under the mattress. No one's going to steal your passport.
Do you ever remember growing up? You grew up in Victoria. I grew up in Surrey here. And your mom, when it would get dark and you could see into your house, your mom would say, close the blinds because they'll be able to see we have a TV in the house. Our houses were always... for some reason targeted that we grew up with that all the time. I grew
up in Victoria.
As soon as the lights
there was literally no targets.
As soon as the curtains needed to be closed,
it
was my mom would think criminals are walking around. It's like a viewing part, they're window shopping now.
Because they only work the night shift.
Okay.
So anyways, you were working
at the time I was going to SFU for criminology. I wanted to be a lawyer really bad. Or a cop at the time, and I was working at Safeway graveyards, and I was doing part-time teller. And he essentially told me, he sat down and he said, listen, where do you want to go with your life? What do you want to do? This bank and this area, this market, we're desperate for young Punjabi-speaking sales representatives who can be mutual fund licensed, who can do mortgages, who can do all that.
Yeah.
And I didn't really think much of it because I was still kind of pursuing that degree, that piece of paper that means so much to our parents.
Yeah. And you were taking...
Criminology.
And
kind of thought about it for a bit. And then he tells me, he goes, you know what? Just write your mutual funds license and see how it goes. Wrote it. I got certified. Then he tells me, he goes, there's a posting at Langley.
Yeah.
Right away, I said, well, wait, you just said Surrey. He goes, no, the general market. We're just desperate for you guys.
Got it.
I could read and write Punjabi really well at the time because fresh out of high school.
Yeah,
I took it in
I
high
took
school.
it too.
So for me, I was like, hey.
I was the only
like,
school on the island that had it.
Yeah, and
I just took it. I was the only kid in grade 12 that
I
had
wanted to
it.
flaunt it because I'm born and raised
sick.
in Surrey, right?
Sick.
So I was like, wherever I could use it, I would use it.
Yeah.
Then I realized, like, I'm not going to use this shit in Langley.
No, of
And
course
then
not.
they send me to Langley, and
Oh, you could now.
I could now.
Yeah, but not then.
But now it's been 10 years since I've
Put
put it on paper, pen and paper, right? But
You still just remember.
I mean,
how
I
to
still
write
pride
swear words.
myself as to the level of Punjabi that I can still speak.
Yeah, you
Because
only know how to remember to write the swear words now,
and my name.
and your name, of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
and my name.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I ended up in Langley, and that was a different market. It was different, man.
Yeah.
Going into a market with a lot of Gore clients and seeing that as a young kid and not ever actually experiencing how tough it is to deal with out of race people.
Yeah.
It was,
because
it was a struggle. Nobody wanted to deal with me. Too young,
brown.
and I was brown.
Yeah.
Right? That's a tough gig.
Yeah.
Right? That's a very tough gig. Unless you've been there for, there was older up in Ladia that were working there as senior sales and sales and stuff.
But they had clientele.
They'd been there for 15, 16 years. So they had taken that market that I went there to win.
Got
And it sucked. It sucked. I was like on like probationary
Review
training and reviews, and they're just like, you're just not doing it, you're not cutting it. And it came a time where I would turn around to my dad, and he worked at CN Railway 33 years.
Oh, wow.
I said, Dad, get me a job at CN. I'm done with banking.
Serious?
And I think that was a realization. The first realization was when he said, listen, if you don't want to go to school, don't go to school.
Yeah.
If you have a job lined up, because up they think if you're a bank teller, you're top of the line prestige class.
Yeah,
That's what you're bank teller
like banker, engineer, lawyer,
banker was just the biggest thing.
like,
And then I
those are
got a
the
job
ones.
as a teller, and I was like, wait, I only make $14 an hour. Why is this considered such a prestigious job?
Yeah.
But so the first thing he said was, follow your work. You're guaranteed a full-time job. Go pursue it. You can get far.
Pension mil jugi.
That's the big thing, right?
Yeah. I got it.
And he can tell his friends and brag to them.
Yeah.
Mera
Like,
munda sales
mera
karda aaya,
munda
main
tere
direct-
mortgage dwa duga.
And well, that never came to any fruition.
Yeah.
I think I got 0 referrals out of him.
Yeah.
But
Because they don't believe you can do his mortgage. That's why dads will never refer you
no,
business.
never.
Dad's like, you suck.
My dad would ask me for advice. Should I go variable or fixed?
And then tell
I'd
you
be
you're
like, Dad,
stupid.
I'm gonna do variable. He goes, you stupid.
Yeah.
5-year fixed. They kicking it at you.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, cool.
Dad,
And I'd
they're-
give him my advice.
Brown
and
dads
never
are
heed my
testing
advice.
you.
Never
Brown
heed my
dads are
advice.
testing you in business all the time. They're like, what do you think?
Not just business, but don't you ever find
Life.
that? Like, I told him one time, he always told me Japanese cars, cheap maintenance, get a job. Honda, Toyota.
Yeah.
It's the way to go.
I know where
and
you're
I tell
going.
him,
I know where
I'm buying
you
a
bought.
Honda Accord, and for some reason he didn't want. They just don't want to
Both,
agree with you.
both of us
He's
decided.
like, never.
And what do we
And
both
we
decide?
went and both bought BMWs.
We bought BMWs.
Oh, the chapers that came with that.
Only to show up and flex. Just to be like, yo.
Only to show up and have a good friend of ours tell us how dumb we were for buying BMWs.
Let's look at the camera when we say this. And what does this guy drive?
A BMW,
BMW.
X3, X5 at the time.
X5. X3. Come on, dog. You ain't drive no X3.
Sorry, if you know who you are, sorry for downgrading you like that.
Sorry, bro. Don't be mad at us.
But yeah, and then that's just we kind of just came into contact through there while I was working.
Yeah,
there.
through the
I was
X5 friend.
Gonna try to get a job at CN. My dad said, "Listen, it's just not where you want to be right now. I wouldn't recommend it. I don't want to see you be new into this job, and it's a tough gig." And
What did your dad do there?
he was a track engineer. So with that, almost he was just like, listen, I can get you hired. I've been here for so long, but I see what's happening to the new guys. Don't want to see it done to you. Banking's perfect. Just do it. And I was like, man, nobody likes me. Like, this is a hard gig. I'm a very personable guy, and everybody at the branch likes me as a fun Romi that he comes in, lightens up the branch.
That's your
But then you look
personality.
at me on paper, and they're just like, this guy sucks.
Yeah.
And it was hard.
Yeah.
It was hard, right? So yeah, and then that's
Then we
essentially-
connected.
Then we connected.
And then I think like I was still kind of transitioning into real estate.
You were just getting into it
Yeah, 2011,
because
2012.
you had just released Suit.
Yeah, when I was
You just released
my
that. I
first.
remember our friend with
Now
the X5.
everyone on the internet now knows that I
I
had
paid
a punk ass
99
song out.
cents on iTunes. I paid 99 cents on iTunes. For
Yeah,
that.
'cause
And it was
like-
the first time I had used my credit card on iTunes, and I was like, I'm gonna get scammed.
Oh, dude, because we come from that era where like we're not sure if internet shopping is safe. Still,
Even iTunes,
still,
as reputable as it is.
I shop on the internet all the time, but still, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know if I should put this AOL disk into my MacBook. Like, you know what I mean? Like
When you used to get the 504 hours for free?
Netscape.
Mine was AOL.
Netscape was free internet. Used to come in the
Oh.
mail. Remember with the CD?
Yeah, the CD. I used to get the AOL with it looked like a pizza.
Yeah.
And it would give you 504 hours
They open
free.
the box and they're like,
Oh,
yo,
man.
pop this.
That was legendary.
That was
It's
legendary.
better than McDonald's coupons when they show up.
So you met me when I first released music, Bhangra music too.
Yeah.
Not the R&B stuff that
No.
people know me about. Then I deleted all that stuff.
Because that was straight Bhangra.
Bhangra.
And I still jam out to it. Still
You
on
still
Apple
have
Music.
because you own
Because
it.
I paid 99 cents for it.
You paid nice. Kids, buy your music. You always own it because just in case that artist deletes it, like I did, you get to keep that music. So there's like 300 people who bought that record. So there's 300 copies of that. Limited edition. I should make it an NFT.
There you go. The cover?
No, the song. Can you make the song an NFT?
I think
I'm still learning about NFTs. I should make like
I don't know any of that stuff.
I should make the album cover an NFT where it's like me and a
It's
jean
you
jacket.
in a jean jacket
Red
standing
brick
up against a wall.
Red brick wall.
It's just the coolest at the time. It was like, this guy is
I was like, whoa.
dope.
I dropped like 200
I
pounds
was
for
just
that
about to say,
roll.
that wasn't,
I was
that wasn't Photoshop,
I was
was it?
nah, bro. I actually like was hitting the gym so hard. I was like, oh my God. Like I'm gonna be the sexiest looking punker singer of all time. I was hitting the gym, Platinum Fitness Club.
Yeah.
That was my jam, bro.
That was your
I was
jam?
living there, like
were
eating
that
like
guy.
chicken
You were
and
that
broccoli,
guy.
like weighing it out. Like, remember when you came to my house the first time? You looked in the fridge, like, yo, bro, why don't you have anything in the
Anything
fridge?
that
And I was
I
like,
like.
I'm only allowed to eat chicken and broccoli. I have a video shoot coming up. And you're like, you want to go to Panago and get some cheese bread? I was like, no.
No. But inside, you
But
were
inside, I was like,
dying.
yes, of course I want to get cheesy bread.
Jeez. Those are good. That was right. That was before the
I
basement.
like want to order cheesy bread right now.
Yeah. Well, we are. We
So you
definitely
think
are.
that this podcast should be like hot ones where we like do
you need to differentiate yourself and have something.
because you're the first episode.
I'm hungry. You've been a very poor guest, so
You're order
I
food.
came hungry and
I'll
you gave
feed
me
the
wine.
guy
I'm
before
already
he
feeling
leaves,
it.
and I'm
so.
giving him wine on an empty stomach. I'll feed you.
Yeah.
I promise. But
So we met.
yeah,
That was fun.
And then
We had a lot of fun.
we clicked,
I
we
think
made
almost
friends.
like every 2-3 days that when you went into the basement for a bit there,
Yeah,
I was over.
you're over all the
two-
time.
And I think
Then we met our wives at the same time.
I think X5 was getting a little jealous of that friendship.
Change the topic. We met our wives at the same time.
We did. Yes, we did.
Neat and
Those
Man.
are fun conversations
Those are
that we
fun
used
times.
to have.
Those are fun times. Fun double
really-
dates we used to do. We got married around the same time,
Yep.
but we
Yep.
had a little like
A little riffraff.
we got into Groomzilla.
We let ourselves do what they do.
The wedding industry does.
The wedding industry. It does that
Yeah,
to
it
you.
does that to you. So we was like, yeah, I'm gonna have the nicest suit. I'm gonna have the nicest etchkin. And then we got into it about some stupid shit.
Because I
And then-
remember being in Terrace. I remember being in Terrace, and I
which
called
I sent you the referral for.
Yes. No, because
I linked you up with
I
a
called
realtor there.
you, and I said, listen, I know you can't sell a house.
Suki.
Yes.
Shout out to Suki
Suki
in
Spencer.
Terrace. She's dope.
I called you, and I said, hey, I'm buying a house in Terrace.
Yeah.
And I know you can't
Yeah.
sell here, but take the free referral fee. So why not?
Well,
Find me someone.
I can sell there. I'm licensed across British Columbia to
Oh,
sell
okay.
real estate.
But
But
I just said, find me someone.
I was like, look, here's
You
the
did
thing.
the up and nothing about it. You said, I found an up and on the website.
Of course, because of course I did. Of course I didn't find you just anyone.
Anybody.
I found you the only brown person in Terrace that sells real estate. I was like, this is the one.
She's a seller.
She is the area expert. And by area expert, she will make sure you're not too far away from Walmart and not too far away from grocery and not
I was
too
2
far
blocks away from Boston Pizza, and I couldn't have asked for anything
See?
better.
It's brown person brain thinking. We're like, okay, like, yo, this guy needs cheap groceries, gas, and like, what's the other thing? Like
Boston Pizza.
Boston pizza.
Because that's all they had up there.
So like we're like, oh, pizza order ka na.
They used to have
I
live
got you,
DJs.
fam.
Their Boston Pizza was a nightclub on Fridays and Saturdays.
And small towns are
Small
dope.
towns are, that's where to
Small
go,
towns
man.
are dope,
Prince
man.
Rupert and
Like,
Terrace,
you don't
when I
need
was
too
up
much in
there.
a small town to have fun. Like Victoria is a small city,
Yeah.
but when I grew up, it was a small town.
Yeah,
But then
yeah.
Mon thinks like, if you talk to my wife, she's like, oh, you're like a city boy. Like you're not.
You've always had that
Like but she thinks like Victoria, like I say, like it's a small town. She's like, shut up.
It's a city.
It's a city, dog. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not that. But anyways, we connected you to that. I do sell real estate across BC now. But at that time, I'll be honest, you were too close to a friend. I wasn't comfortable enough handling that transaction for you because I was like, what if I sell this guy some like just absolute...
Romi, just buy it.
Like, Romi, just buy this random acreage in the furthest part of Terrace. It takes you 2.5 hours to get to work. And like, there's a septic tank and you don't even know what septic tank is because you're from like 76 and Scott Road.
At the time,
like,
I didn't. I learned when I got up there.
Yeah.
Every other property had septic tank.
Because like the rest of BC is different.
On a floodplain.
The rest of BC is different. Like, people know about floodplains now because of like
What
the
just
crazy
happened.
stuff that happened in
Yeah.
Abbotsford. Like, that was terrible. But like, you know, insurance policies and all that stuff, like 10 years ago,
None of
bro,
it.
like there was no like,
None
people
of it.
were not, people did not think about like their insurance on their house because they're like, oh, who cares? Like it ain't like the forest fires ever make it out here. Now we're like,
Yeah. Now we're looking out our windows saying
global warming. It's like every summer. It's like, so what are you gonna do before the smoke season starts? Yeah.
there's like 7 seasons now.
I think you guys are gonna go through the Okanagan before the smoke starts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snowagi, mountain thing.
What is it? Tuang. That's gonna be our generation. It's like Tuang season.
You go to India and you're just living in Tua anyways.
That's
Like,
jokes. So you moved out to Terrace. Why'd you move to Terrace?
work, man. So after I was doing a financial service representative at the TD in Willowbrook, changed my mindset, started working differently, started growing up, maturing, understanding more of the banking world and how to more or less, you know, grind and really do work, and then how to put that into getting clients to give you referrals and utilizing friends and family and really bringing that in. So I started getting my name out there a little bit more, and I had a new manager come in at the time, and he was just like, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
You're a great guy. Like you do these like big deals now, and a lot with banks, they have these things where it's just like you gotta go up a ladder.
Yeah.
Right. So I was a financial sales representative, which you can consider being your junior sales guy. And I didn't want to be that sales guy anymore because at this point now I've grown. I've been there for almost 2 years. I'm starting to train the new hires that are coming in. I'm teaching them about mortgages, not so much about investing because I wasn't super into it. Mortgages became my thing. And I was like, I love lending money.
Yeah.
I love helping people out. You want to get this house? Let's find a way to get it for you because you want it. Let's get you in it.
Yeah.
Right. So I just found a passion in that. And so I started training on that. And when I talked to him, he goes, well, you got to do senior sales and you got to show that you can hit those targets. Keep in mind, this is before everything came out in the news about
This
targets
is just to do
being
like
strenuous.
regular mortgages.
Regular
Like,
mortgages,
just regular
conventional
run-of-the-mill,
mortgages.
conventional
We want to buy this house, that
20%
house,
down.
refinance our house, give them home equity line of credit. So just lending, that was my thing.
Cool.
I ended up learning it, loving it, living it, breathing it.
Always wondered why people like it, as from a career standpoint.
Yeah.
Because I work with you guys so closely.
Yeah.
I know why I like real estate. Because I love like talking to people.
Yeah.
And just being like out there, and it's like, hey, cool, like I get to do what I love, which is just like yip yap.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
talk.
yeah.
And like I also get to meet a lot of people because I came to a city lawyer, but I've never wrapped my mind around why someone loves mortgages.
It falls in the same aspect. You meet these guys, you yip yap with them, you get to know them, you get to understand their life and what they're looking to do. I come now from a place where it's more advice based. So you almost fall into this. I've fallen into this routine where I can comfortably tell somebody, I don't think you should go buy that, which is something that's hard to do.
Yeah, it's very hard to do.
You know, when you know somebody can afford it or whatever it may be, even if they can't afford it,
Telling someone
there's
the house
ways
is shit
around
isn't
it. And
easy.
it's just like, hey, you know what? Maybe that's not the best investment decision at this point. Maybe you shouldn't move your family there. I have clients who now reach out to me from Niagara, from Regina, Williams Lake, Brampton, Prince George, and they all want to move here. They think Surrey is just, Baji, we got to get to Surrey. And I need to explain to them certain things when it comes from a financing standpoint, but also from a personal standpoint as well.
Like,
It's a different mindset. That, you know, if you're coming from Regina,
it's different out here.
And you went from either India to Regina, or some of them went from England to Regina, or wherever it may be. It's a big culture shock coming here.
It's a big culture shock coming here from Victoria.
Absolutely. So,
so
then they come around, they start seeing prices, and there's like, oh my God, it's so expensive. It's so expensive. And I said, we've grown with this price increase, right? So I have one guy that says, maybe I'll just buy a house in South Surrey.
Yeah.
$4 million. And I'll rent it out for a couple of years until I'm ready to move the family there when the kids go to school.
Does he have a realtor?
Yeah, and I'm not going to say that out loud because very poor experience. Absolutely. But so
Just constantly
so what I
looking
would
for
say,
business,
this
by the way.
realtor did a very good job at being a realtor.
Yeah.
Because at 11:45 p.m., she got my client to remove subjects when I had recommended just don't do that.
Oh no.
So this person grinded.
Boo boo. That's a bad real estate boo boo. Go on.
I think
Well,
also the advice
unless he can afford it.
Also, from a
His
banking
decision.
standpoint, yes, absolutely. We said you can afford this.
Okay, cool. Then
however,
yeah, you just
you're what his mindset was he was listening to overinflated rental rates and thinking that he's going to profit off of a $4 million house.
like cash flow.
Cash flow. You're not. You're gonna.
Not in this
You're
market.
lucky to break even.
No.
At where we're doing. But that's the mindset that these guys have.
Unless you're
you guys in Surrey are idiots. You guys pay so much for rent, and it's like no, not necessarily.
No, we actually pay like
Right?
really low rent in comparison to where we
So
live.
I said, don't buy it unless you're moving here within 3 months. Rent your
Yeah.
basement out temporarily, like right away. But that house, it's brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And keep in mind, this guy lives in a very small rural town in BC, or no, sorry, in Regina, like
Okay.
close by. So I said, the market you see, your $350,000 house is a mansion there,
Yeah.
and people are going to pay $3,000-4,000 a month in rent there because that's just how that market is.
Mm-hmm.
Don't come here and think you're going to get the same thing, but you're paying more, so you're eating up at your cash flow for that.
Yeah.
So he calls me in the morning, and I said, hey, I'm happy you did remove subjects, and he says, actually, they're removed.
I'm gonna need that
And
loan.
I said, listen, I'm still advising against this.
Yeah.
So I enjoy giving that advice.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you're not going to heed my advice,
No,
then
of course.
why are we working together?
But it's
I
cool
enjoy
to
it.
know why you got
I
into
enjoy
it, right?
I get into it.
I've never even
I
asked
really
anyone
get into
that.
the deal. I really get into their personal life. I say, hey, listen, like your kids, look at the age of your kids. Now let's talk about transition. Like as a banker, most people might not, but we talk to them about what's that educational transition going to look like for your kids? How many friends do they have at school? Right now, you're going to take that away from them for you thinking, oh, I'm going to go give them a better life in Surrey. Mm-hmm. But you got to consider that as well.
Yeah, and a lot of bankers don't care about that.
I have a client right now. Actually, one of my favorite deals that I did in working with this family was they live in Coquitlam, and their daughter really wanted to go to a private school in Maple Ridge. So they bought a second home in Maple Ridge where the parents commute back and forth
5 days a week.
5 days a week to live with their daughter who goes to a private school across the street. But they're doing that for her because that's what she wanted. And those are life decisions that are very important. And they're doing that sacrifice. They can afford it. I was open. Yeah, for sure. We'll
if you can
finance that
afford
for
it.
you. And I enjoy doing that for them.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the kind of advice that I like. And it's not just about here's a mortgage, here's your down payment, here's your interest rate, here's your payment. Give me all these documents. I'll talk to you in a week when the approval's there. We work day and night along these guys. Here's cell phone numbers, text me, almost like how your rapport is when you build it. People don't think bankers are like that.
Yeah.
And most people don't have relationships with their bank like that.
Mm-hmm.
So where I am now at commercial banking with RBC, it's phenomenal. Like the connections that you make and just how entrenched you are with your clients' lives, their medical, like I deal with healthcare professionals now, their growth as professionals, what their dreams and aspirations are. We talk to each of our clients on our portfolio, I would say at least every 2 months, just to say what's going on, where are we going with it. It's very personable.
Wow.
So I got from being a manager of small business at TD where we were looking after 300 clients, and that's just not sustainable when you're looking at from building that personal rapport. You probably have about 50 clients in there that you'll memorize everything about.
Yeah.
But then you have 200 clients that you're just like, who's this guy again? What did he want? What does he have with us? And you just don't know.
That's small business at TD.
Small business. They're just larger books.
Small business at TD.
I had fun. It was still fun though. Don't get me wrong. Banking's always been fun for me.
I'm always looking at that small business thing at TD. Like that little picket that they got. Is they call it picket?
Oh, the
Or
wicket?
wicket?
Yeah, the
Okay.
wicket. The
wicket.
little
I remember
special
you-
wicket that you get to use.
I'm always like, yo, dog. Should I switch?
One thing that I've definitely stepped away
I
from
switch
is
to
branch
this?
banking.
Like,
Branch banking is something that I don't see myself getting back into.
no, like, cause like I've realized that there's so many, like after getting into real estate,
9 to
I
5
re-
is just not the way to go anymore.
yeah, it's just like, the world's changing, and but not to mention like retail banking. Glad I realized like
It's a
you guys
dying
call it
world.
retail banking. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
And that's just like so freaking shallow.
There's
And
no growth in it.
There's no depth to that.
There's nothing.
Like the
and
real,
that's where I realized I needed to step away from it. That's why I moved to Terrace.
but not even as a career path, but as a customer to a bank.
Yeah.
The growth is not when you walk into the branch and you're like, hello, Mr. and Mrs. Teller that leaves every 6 or 7 months. And like now a new college student paying for his degree is coming through. I'd like to pay my Shaw bill. Like that's not the
When
guy.
I was a teller at TD, I'm aging myself now, even though we're not even that old. I hate considering us aging.
I'm
But
young, baby.
every transaction, we used to process passbooks. Remember, you put it through the machine, a passbook, a book that would tell you what your balance is.
Yeah.
And that's the holy grail of Punjabi banking in Surrey. Is
Like
the
the
pass- they don't think the money's in their account until their passbook shows it. That's how religious.
Because you need
people
the
are.
receipt.
Well, they need it in the passbook, not the receipt. It has to be.
So
in the
people
passbook.
still do the passbook?
No. So
They like stopped it.
So the transition of retail banking when I was in it was passbooks. Everybody would line up. Some of them would just come in to see that their pension checks, like old BBs and whatnot. Did my pension check come in today? Yes, it did. Okay, update my passbook with it. So they would just wait in line for that. Update the passbook. Yep. Okay, direct deposit in. Boom, they're gone. My last couple of weeks when I was actually working in Langley as a manager of customer service for TD, the message became when a client comes in, ask them before they get in line what they want. And if they're just doing a basic deposit, tell them to go to the ATM. And that's just how it transitioned. Let's go digital. Everybody go digital. And then when that initiative kind of started, I looked at myself and I said, retail banking is going to be a dying world pretty quick.
Yeah.
And as a manager, you start saying, when I first started, I had this much FTE to schedule staff
What's
members
FTE?
on a day, full-time allocation for hours.
Okay, like full-time employees?
How many hours you can allocate in a day for staff to work?
And that stands for full-time employees?
Full-time employees, yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. That started diminishing quick.
So like I would on any given Friday, I would have 5 staff that would work a day, and by the end of it, I was pushing 2 and then 1 on a half shift, and
So
then myself, I'd become a teller, and right away I was like, something's going on. Like it's never gonna get better.
So you jumped on a plane to Terrace. Terrace leads you to
Then I go to Terrace, and then I did. I was account manager for small business in Terrace, Prince Rupert. Worked a lot with a lot of the indigenous communities, which was one of the greatest experiences of like just understanding and working with them and seeing how they the self-government, and it was so rewarding and eye-opening. Being on my own, not being in my parents' house anymore. Mm-hmm. That's a big reality check for us.
So that's
how big of a reality check is it? I have my mom on FaceTime. I have the laptop on the island, and she's
Mom, how do you make dal?
How do you make dal? And
she's like,
my mom's not saying, they're not saying 1 teaspoon of salt.
No, Maharaja.
No, they use the finger.
Oh, okay.
That's their measurement.
My mom's a Maharaja or Thoraja. You know, Thoraja,
Yeah.
Maharaja, Javan. And I'm like, what's a Javan? And I'm like, yo, what's Javan, yo?
So there's the other struggle. My first grocery shopping trip.
You only knew what Javan
I
was.
only knew certain things.
Jita. We were talking about this.
And I was like, Mom, what's Jita? I want to buy it for rice. And she's like, Jita ta Jita hi hunda hai.
No, what's it called?
I'm going to go to Safeway, Mom. That's all these people have. Where do I find it? And then I think like 2 days later, she ended up calling me and she's like,
It's called cumin.
no, she's like, cumin. I'm like, what's that? I was like, Mom, that's not an English word.
She's like, called cumin?
That was one. The other
She
one
called
was
it what? She called it what?
cumin. Cumin. She's like trying to stutter it out. And I was like, type it. So I
Cumin.
typed it. Cumin seeds. Then I found it in the spice aisle. Oh, sweet. Okay. One hurdle done.
I didn't know
The next-
lechian were called cardamom pods.
Did you know that green onions are called puka? So I only knew them as puka. You think I'm going to walk into Safeway and find a representative and be like, where's your puka located?
I feel like this is a good sign for the air horn. There's
That's a
now
knowledge
officially
whale for
4
you.
words for onion. Piaj,
Oh my God.
Gunday,
Don't get me started on
Gate,
this.
and Puka.
Puka's the one, the green, the ones that
Hard
are on the
K or
stem.
KH?
Oh, it's a
Puka.
hard K.
Puka.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Oh, it's
All right,
it's a hard
so
K.
we've gotten the Puka in. All right.
Who knows? Maybe we'll get fact checked by somebody that watches and says, only your household, bro.
Yeah, maybe. Comment and like if you call it Puka.
Please.
I just call it.
I
green
need some
onions.
homies on my side on
I
this
call
one.
it green onions.
Yeah,
So
I knew that.
that's living on your own
I told
stuff.
my mom, it's not an onion. It's not a
Yeah.
ball. She goes, no, yeah, it's string. I said, that's not an onion. It's not
Yeah.
a green onion. She goes, no, yeah, it is.
No,
So adjustments, adaptments. I moved up there. I
Yeah.
learned a lot. Learned how to kind of just be self-sufficient. Obviously, the laundries and the bed making and the cooking and realizing quick, I can't order Pizza Hut every day.
yeah,
just can't.
that's a fun realization, right?
That's a realization where it's just like,
I got a pizza story like when I first moved out. So when I
Yeah, man.
first moved out, my cousin, who shall not be named, drives up here. That'll give some reference. So people who know my cousins, they know which ones can drive up here and which ones can catch a boat. So he drives up here. He's like, yo, fam, I got to come through. I got to come see you. And I'm going to spend some time with you. I used to work Shaw Cable. And I think he had maybe moved out once and
Yeah.
moved back in with mom. But like, I just moved out. So this guy goes, yo, like, what's the pizza joints up here? I'm like, all right, so you got like, D Hut,
yep,
Top in Town,
Newton Pizza, shout
Newton
out.
Pizza, Quantland Pizza. I'm like, those are all the Desi ones, right? And he's like, yeah, like,
Nah, it's not gonna work for me.
he's like, nah, like, what's the ones, right? And I was like, like Pizza Hut, Panago, Domino's, like your basics, right? This dude wrote down a list. He stayed with me for 9 days. I'd come home from work. This guy had demolished medium pizza
himself.
from a different place every
Every
day.
time.
And my landlord thought like he rented out his place to a slop.
Oh my
'Cause
god!
I need variation in my diet. I can't do the same thing every day. But
I can't.
No.
But that's where my realization in Terrace came.
Yeah.
Because Pizza Hut on their receipts, based on
Yeah.
your phone number, at the bottom of the receipt it says times ordered.
Oh,
That was my realization.
don't want to talk about that.
And I was like, and then I calculated, I've been here for this much time.
Yeah.
And then I subtracted the times ordered. So I was
Yeah.
like, how many days have I not eaten Pizza Hut? And it got bad. And then obviously you look at your bank account, you're just like, geez, I need to go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
I got to stop being like, I would go. And then it came to the point where you'd go to the grocery store, bananas. Oh, I'm going to be so healthy. I'm going to buy this and
Then you
this
start
and that.
throwing food away.
A whole fridge.
Worst.
A whole fridge.
That takes like a few years to really stop doing.
It took a while. It really did.
Like
take a
for
while.
me, like it was like I was wasting food, man.
It took a
Like,
while. You'd
and
have that one day where you feel so accomplished.
You're like, yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, I made.
You
my
feel like one of those like
salad.
aesthetic
I
YouTubers.
made fucking bopping under, like I
Yeah,
made sunny
yeah.
side up eggs, and you're like, I
Make the
used my
vibes.
own supplies.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you sit there and you say, well, now who's gonna wash the dishes? Shit, me.
That's the circle that we
It's
go
that,
through.
and I think everybody. I mean, I don't know if people might just say, well, this guy's an idiot for being 25
No.
years old and not doing that. But you got to realize at the same time, I'm the youngest of my dad being the second youngest of 8 siblings, and I'm the only boy. So I grew up not being
There's a
allowed
layer-
to do
there's
anything.
a layer of that.
Not being allowed to do it. When I got accepted into SFU, I went to Best Buy, and I had a cousin working there at the time. He's in SFU as well, and I get a Sony Vaio laptop on staff discount. So I think at the time it cost me $400. I was working at Safeway, so I mean it wasn't like it was a massive purchase for me. Came home, couldn't stop playing with it, installing everything. The next morning I woke up and there was $450 on my bedside table. Because mom's like, I don't want you paying for shit.
Oh man, it's
So
so
even when
bad.
I try,
Yeah,
I just couldn't.
I know.
Like they just wouldn't let me.
I didn't feel
I'd fill
that.
up a gas tank because I do a graveyard shift at Safeway, and I was like, oh shit, car's no gas in it, and they would know.
but you're
they would
like-
know to the dollar how much money I put in that car. And I was like, how?
But they were reloading your sister's gas tank too, yeah?
No, you talk to my sisters. My sister was.
They have a completely
when
different
I was
story?
when I was like 17, 18, having my
man.
L and my N and stuff. My oldest sister got her first cell phone at 16.
Yeah, but it always gets better for the younger sibling.
That's
I'm
what
the
I mean.
eldest.
Bedtimes.
My sister got it the same day I did.
When they get the
Yeah,
cell
it's like,
phones.
don't even get on that.
Money. My mom would always tell my sister, "You work at the mall. You can pay for your own."
What does
shit."
Hassan Minaj say? He's like little siblings, just like you just inherited our swag.
Yeah.
You know, Hassan Minaj says that
Yeah,
Homecoming
yeah, yeah.
King. He's like,
Yeah.
you just inherited our swag.
I mean,
so you
there-
probably inherited some of your sister's swag, but then
Bikes with the cards
Yeah,
on
yeah,
them
the
and stuff.
vibe and
There were
stuff,
some
yeah.
things that were hand me downs, which
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
of course.
appreciate. But at the same time, man, like I think when I finally realized that, holy shit, I'm so spoiled, and I'm probably not even like like I don't even realize that I'm exploiting it.
yeah,
That took me until I moved to Terry. And when I made my decision to move,
yeah, it was me when I moved to Surrey.
was I have to get away. I can't even, like, if I get out of my bed, take a shower, and I walk downstairs, my bed's already made upstairs. I don't even have time to do it myself.
Damn, real brown boy chronicles
You know,
over
like,
here, man.
yeah,
Like,
so-
this is like
I
a
mean,
real
shout
brown
out to
boy
Mom.
story.
Thanks for everything
Yeah.
you did for me. Like, I mean, but it took that realization, and I think the greatest conversation I had with my mom in my life was when TD told me that I was coming back to Surrey.
Yeah.
They said, there's a position here. It's a lateral move, but it gets you home, because I was getting married. So I was like, I can't stay here.
Yeah.
And it was at Scott Road and 80th, and I was going to be the account manager of small business there as well. I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, they just called me and they said I'm coming home. It'll probably take about 3-4 weeks, but I'm
Colorado
coming home.
Canadians is where you were gonna go.
From Terrace.
From Terrace.
They
Okay,
said,
cool,
hey, we
cool.
found
and
you-
you were about to get married.
Yeah.
Okay,
Because I
cool.
told my work, I said, listen, I can't live here anymore.
Got it.
You gotta find me something back
And
home.
Neetu wasn't really hot on that idea. The Terrace idea.
Well, she's
I still remember
MRI,
bugging
right?
her about
She
it.
does MRIs, but the thing was the MRI machine that was coming up in Terrace took a lot longer than expected. So if she went there, there wasn't a guarantee for work.
Yeah, I still remember bugging you guys in our
Yeah.
group chat and stuff. Like, oh, I can't believe like Neetu's moving to Terrace and stuff.
So I called my mom and I was like, hey, I'm coming home. And she's like, but you're not gonna stay here, are you? And right away I was like, I'm not spoiled anymore. As spoiled as I was.
She got used to like not have to worry about
No,
you.
she said, you're gonna fall back into old habits because I am gonna take care of you if you come home.
Oh, so like
Don't
she's
come
like,
here.
I can't commit to not taking care of you.
Exactly.
But at the same time, I don't like I don't
Yeah.
like doing it. So
they had
funny.
they had a rental property.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
still have it on 64th there.
Yeah.
So I got shipped into the basement there. 'Cause
Yeah,
My
yeah,
mom
yeah.
said, still go be your individual. You're getting
course.
You're getting married.
of course.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yep.
I spent, I think, 4 or 5 days with my parents while the people were moving out, and those 4 or 5 days were heaven. When you move away and you come back and then it's just like brought here already, you know. Then now the stitchy was unpacked.
I gotta
and the laundry
disagree,
was
bro.
done.
I gotta disagree.
It was nice to have that there, but the reason why I found it so nice too was because I knew it wasn't permanent.
I got used to my space.
But I knew it wasn't permanent. I knew I was
Oh,
going to get
okay.
into that
It's a
basement
vacation.
within
It's a
4 or 5
vacation.
days,
It's
so it was like a vacation.
You're not going in there with like defeat.
No. So, but there were still small points of being spoiled that were still exerted. Like I moved into the basement. It was pretty junky. So what do? I get all the curtains and the doors replaced. And that's not a small karcha on my parents. And I said, I'm not living in this when it looks like shit.
So
So
fast forward a little bit,
yeah.
and you're here. You got married. They know we had a fallout, but I guess like the biggest thing that's ever happened in your life, other than the birth of your daughter.
Yeah, that's the
that's like-
biggest thing that's
that's
happened in my
crazy.
life.
You're back, so
so
you're
my
back.
daughter's 14 months old.
Yeah.
Shout out to Serena.
Shout out
I love
Serena,
her.
man.
Joy of my life. Just so happy to wake up with her every day. But it was actually when I transitioned to RBC. I was just got into healthcare. I was in an intern program, just get into healthcare, and I think I got my desk and my portfolio September of 2018.
RBC on Scott and 72, correct?
No, I was at the commercial office on 152 and Highway 10 in the Benchmark building. I'm still there. It's right behind the Shell gas station.
Got it. Yeah.
My office is still stationed out there, but of course, with everything that's going on in the world, that's crazy right now. We're at home, which is another blessing in disguise as well. But yeah, I mean, you know, people go through ups and downs in life, and people want to consider it a down, whatever you want to do. I mean, there are certain battles that you fight that just make you so strong, and you come out of it and you look back at it and you say, you know what, like, let's do it again.
No.
There's days. So what happened was, it was December of 2018.
Christmas Eve, man.
Boxing Day. That's why we couldn't see a doctor. But
I thought it was Christmas
I
Eve.
I ended up getting hospitalized, unfortunately. So we went to Peace Arch, and that's where my wife worked at the time. And they ran a bunch of tests, and you know, as much as you want to go into it, but after about 3 weeks and, you know, spending New Year's in the hospital.
So what? So like slow down for a second.
Oh,
so like,
you want to know the you want to
Okay,
get,
so
you
like
want to get into, you want to
I
do my-
know-
I have
I
a
know.
walk by walk story and I have a summarized story.
No, man. Let's go walk by. We just walk by walk, but we think about pizzas and stuff. Like I think maybe we should walk by walk something
Absolutely.
like this. So I remember, to give you guys a little background. As you guys know, so me and Romi, we have loads to talk about. So we're always yip yapping on text and stuff. And I get a message from this guy and it didn't look like his normal message because it didn't start with "Hey idiot" or something like that.
Hey,
and
neg.
then and neg means negatron, which means negative, which means he calls me that. So he just shortened it down to "Hey neg," because I'm always negging him, being negative around him. So nonetheless, he sends me a message and goes like, "Yo, I'm just in the hospital." And I don't remember exactly what the message said, but I remember the general preface was, I was in the hospital. I think he had a heart attack.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the? Because,
Yeah.
dude, you're a soccer player.
Yeah.
Like,
I
you
was
literally
playing-
get your heart
I
rate
was
up to like 180, 190.
Playing 4 days a week at the time, and indoor and
Outdoor. Like, you were always busy with
I was
soccer.
always busy with soccer.
So you had a massive heart attack.
Not a massive.
No?
The heart attack was actually very subtle.
What did
They
that?
weren't even sure if it was a full-blown heart attack.
How old were you at the time?
28. So I was 28. They got me. First, I thought I just had asthma because of how my shortness of breath and everything when I got to the hospital. Of course, you know, you see commercials. Understand when you're having a stroke. Understand when you're having a heart attack.
Yeah.
Chew 2 aspirin. But when you're a 28-year-old, you never think anything that's going on. And I mean,
You don't even have aspirin. You got ibuprofen.
yeah,
for
you don't have
hangover.
aspirin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I did take,
Ibuprofen?
thinking I was hungover.
Oh, because that's what it felt like?
I just thought I was severely hungover. So the big thing was, but then what happened was, so I wake up early in the morning and we had a family Christmas dinner the night before, so we were having drinks and everything. So I just thought, oh man, this is a really shitty hangover. I can't breathe that well. My shoulders were hurting a lot, and the breathing was the big thing. So I was like, shit, I gotta do something about this. Thinking I'm hungover, and then I look at the time, and it's 9:00. I'm a Chelsea fan, but I knew Arsenal was playing at 9:30.
Okay.
So I was like, you know, I'm gonna go downstairs. I'm gonna watch the Arsenal game. Within 10 minutes, not even realizing I've done this, I'm in fetal position on the couch watching the game. And I was like, how did I get? And that's the only way I would feel good. And I still can't breathe properly. Poured myself a coffee.
Oh, God.
No dud, no sugar. I chugged it while it was just
Straight caffeine.
fire hot. And fire hot too, thinking like I need to clear something that's like jammed in there, or something like that. Had my
Desi
heart.
remedy?
Desi remedy, 100%.
Straight Desi remedy, bro.
I was after the coffee. When it didn't work, it was gonna be sans falicha because we know
Okay.
that that's the healer of all healing.
Caffeine
right?
on top of caffeine, not
Why
a good
not?
idea.
Sans falicha heals everything, or ginger ale. Our parents always thought ginger
Give
ale.
me anxiety right now. Like, just tell me the story, bro. Maybe we should have gone
And,
the summarized version.
And when I realized something was wrong was when I tried to walk back up the stairs and I kind of did like a knee fall forward, like I was on like all fours but on the stairs, and I'm trying to shout out my wife's name to try to be like, yo, I just fell, kind of thing. Made it up the stairs, got into the room,
But you
and-
couldn't yell?
Not really, no, I couldn't. I just didn't have the strength to do it.
Okay.
And so we have a California king size bed that has drawers on the bottom. So there's like a frame around our bed. So I sat on the frame on her side, kind of woke her up, but she was super tired at the same time. And I said, massage my shoulders. And she kind of starts massaging them. And right away I was like, hate that feeling. Like, I don't even want to be touched now. So I said, actually, you know what? No, I don't want that. So I kind of go back over to my side. I was like, maybe I just need to go back to bed. Right. But something was like, at the same time, I was like, I can't get a full, like I was, that's how I was breathing. So I was like, oh man, I was like, how much did I drink last night? I was like, what's going on?
This is like something you never felt.
Never felt.
Especially
Never
not at 28.
felt. No, and then I took a shower. So I thought maybe a hot shower is going to clear all my sinuses up.
So you're still walking around.
I'm still doing Desi remedies, kind of slowly walking around, just kind of slouched.
Yeah.
And then I wake her up and I was like, you know what? And then I realized it's Boxing Day. Our family, no family doctor, no Apana family doctor, any doctor, no family clinic is open on a Sunday. So I have to go to the hospital. And prior to this, I'd never been to a hospital. I never even took Tylenol and Advil and nothing like that, or gone to hospitals. I just said, I'll get fine on my own. So she wakes up, obviously doesn't understand the urgency or anything. None of us do. And I was like, take me to the hospital. She kind of went back to bed. And I woke her up. I was like, no, seriously, I think we should go to the hospital. And then she's like, okay, fine. So I walked downstairs. I had my jacket on. I put my hat on. I opened the garage, turned the vehicle on.
Who's driving to the hospital?
She is.
Okay.
Turn it on, and I start pacing the driveway thinking she's just right behind me. I open the garage door, and the shower's going on. So she's taking a shower, which, bless her heart, happy she did, because we ended up being in the hospital for so long.
But you're like,
And
yo,
then
she
it
thinks
started
I'm
to get-
overreacting.
It started to get worse and worse.
Like
And
you thought she was,
because
you
I'm
thought
never
she
like
thought
this.
you were
Because I'm
over.
never like this, and I'm 28 years old.
Yeah.
Like, nothing should be going wrong with anybody that's 28 who lives a standard balanced lifestyle, I would say. But she comes down, she gets in the car, we're ripping it down 152, and the bumps just were doing something else to me. Like, things were like, it felt like everything's just getting stuck in my throat, and I was like, I can't breathe. I was like, this is brutal. Get to the hospital, get checked in, talk to the intake nurse, everything. They're like, we're gonna do an asthma test on you, put this thing in my mouth, and they're like, just blow as hard as you can. And I blew, and it was supposed to hit like, let's say 400. I got to like 80. I was like, that's all the John that I have in myself to give. And this guy's like, asthma. And I was like, all right, cool. So they're like, you know what? We're gonna take some blood from you. You're gonna be fine, and we're gonna do an ECG, just check because your heart rate's a little high. All right, cool. And so they take the blood away, and now we're just sitting there waiting, thinking everything's okay. I have asthma at 28. Never had it before. Nobody in my family has ever had it. Speaking of asthma, my wife has asthma, and one of my desi remedies was I took her puffer in the morning when I'm running around, and I tried to use it, not knowing how to use it. I'm just pushing this thing.
So you're just adding things.
Adding
to like
every bit of masala in your body
cocktail.
that you can.
For the non-Punjabi listeners, desi remedies are like, I don't want to say ghetto. Like they're like homemade desi, really referring to Punjabi or Punjab or
culture.
Indian or cultural remedies. Like, you know, people say like your grandma will give you some weird concoction and be like, yo, just drink this. Like, it's like grandma remedies.
But you just get better when they do that.
But anyway, sorry, you're back. You're taking the thing.
And
Thought we'd give that caveat up.
Yeah.
What's the desi remedy?
And then they do the ECG, which monitors your heart rate.
Yeah.
And as soon as they do that, it was a younger guy nurse who did the ECG, and he goes running down the hallway with my results, and I see my wife run after him as well. And she's like, whoa. I guess she knew his name. And she's like, let me see it.
And he was not like trying to
patronize
her or whatever the right word is.
I'm laying in this bed with my shirt off and stickers all over my body, right?
And everyone is freaking out around you.
And everybody's freaking out around me now.
Are you freaking out?
No, because they're freaking out on the hallway, and I'm just sitting there, just like looking around at the roof, looking at the lights in the hospital,
wondering how the Chelsea game went.
Probably wondering about that Arsenal game.
Arsenal or Chelsea?
It was Arsenal on Boxing Day.
My bad.
But I'm a Chelsea fan, but I just decided to watch the game because of fantasy soccer. I had to watch it. So then Neetu comes back in the room.
Yeah.
And she says, you're having a heart attack. And I was like, this is what it feels like? I was like,
so did you go into like panic mode?
No.
Because that's what I would have done.
So what I did was, well, that's not so bad then. How do people die from this?
Oh, okay.
This is manageable. This is a heart attack.
You're underplaying it.
I was like underplaying it. I was like,
but you're still trying to like...
Still trying to realize that, how did I just get a heart attack at 28? What did I do to cause this?
You were like a
But
like
then
a
the
fit
second
guy.
that she walks in and tells me that, and I'm just like, oh, whatever, we'll get over it. I'm still trying to be all nonchalant about it. Let's be positive. Think good thoughts. They're throwing me in a bed, putting more stickers. IVs are coming in. Then they're asking me questions. What did you do last night? What did you drink last night? What did you smoke last night? What did you ingest last night? Did you inject anything in your body? They're asking you all. Of course, as medical professionals, they need to know what's in your body. And I was, no, everything's cool. Everything's chill. I had drinks. I'm a little hungover. And they're like, all right, we're going to look. And by the end of the day, let's sum it all up. End of the day, this is at noon, 5 o'clock. They do
26th of December, 2018.
18.
Okay.
They do an ultrasound on my heart.
Yeah.
And they see that my heart's enlarged a bit.
Got it.
And it's a condition called pericarditis.
Okay.
So the internal medicine doctor that's there, case closed. We're going to monitor you overnight. And I'm still thinking the next day, we're having dinner at my parents' house this time.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law from Australia is here. They don't do turkey dinners in Australia. I guess maybe it's their family thing or an Australian thing.
Turkey dinner.
But he was pumped. He's like, we're doing turkey. And every time he came here, he goes, Mom, can we have a turkey dinner?
Got it.
So we were all pumped for it. And they're like, we're going to give you some indomethacin, some powerful drugs. We'll bring down the swelling of your heart. Monitor you overnight. You'll be home tomorrow. Doctor goes home.
Don't be having no gravy.
Don't.
Chill.
Just chill.
Bland.
Try not to exert too much force was like the big thing. Just treat it like the flu for the next couple days. Cool. No problem.
Okay.
Right? I could do that. Because it almost is like that. It's like you get sick and your heart inflames a little bit.
Especially.
So this is like 5 o'clock.
young age.
5:45. My wife's friend who works in X-ray comes by and she goes, "Hey, Hiritu, we have this rec to do an X-ray on your husband, but the file looks like it's done. Like he has pericarditis." But my wife said, no, do it. Still do it. They do the X-ray, and I think that's where everything just kind of went to shit. And they do the X-ray. They call the doctor back. This is like 6:30 now. And then they're trying to break the news to you. Like, I'm pretty sure they know what's going on at this point. But what they did was they actually found a massive abnormality in what they wanted to call my mediastinum, which is they just found a big tumor that was connected.
What's a sternum?
Mediastinum is like the open area between your heart and your lung, from what I know. And
like your chest
I know my
cavity.
wife's going to laugh at me for doing all this medical talk because she's the one that always does it.
Like your chest cavity?
Yeah. In your chest. So it was in my chest cavity.
All right.
A massive tumor. They were calling it a mass for the longest time, but essentially he came back and said, "You're not going anywhere until we find out what it is."
Damn.
So there you go.
You
They thought it was still a heart problem. So they
Got
put
it.
me on the heart unit. I think they call it the telemetry unit. I called it. It's just an old people unit. People who need their hearts monitored.
Not very many young people there.
No, I would say the youngest guy was probably like
The
an
youngest.
80-year-old guy that, we all had monitors on us that showed our heart rates and it showed everything that was going on. We had to shower with these things on and we're constant on watch to make sure everything's okay. Because they don't know what's going on with me right now, right? So this is December 26th.
Yeah.
We're waiting for anything to come through. A biopsy is done. More blood work every morning, 6 a.m., 6 p.m. They're drawing blood like crazy out of me to figure out what's going on. My white blood cell count was, I want to say, low, or it was high because it was fighting something, which is obviously an infection. It was fighting the tumor. They thought it might have been fighting the pericarditis. But being the holiday season, a lot of specialists were away, what have you. I don't know what happened, but it took them until January 11th to finally announce that I had, January 10th, to announce that I had cancer, right? So,
Shit.
and the guy, they walk in, they say, "You have non-Hodgkin's lymphoma."
You don't know what that is?
I don't know what that is,
I don't know what that is.
right?
Damn.
You have non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I was like, oh,
Non?
okay, so it was large B
Sorry,
cell
say it,
non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, the same one that Mario Lemieux had.
Damn.
Yeah. So they said you're going to speak to a specialist. Now, still
So
don't
at this
know.
point, they labeling cancer,
At
you're
this
just
point-
like, oh, it's all good.
So we find out it's cancer because
Hodgkin's.
we chased the doctor back down and be like, "What does it mean?" He goes, "You're going to see a cancer specialist. You have cancer." Very
Oh.
nonchalant. Medical professionals, they're used to that. Like that's their
gotta
their
break the
livelihood.
news.
They got to break
That's
the
their
news
job.
sooner or
That's their
later.
job.
And then
Nothing
I have
personal.
nothing against that.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, some people want to take that emotionally or get angry or whatever it is. But for me, it's like, hey, you pass the news.
How
pass the
are
news.
you feeling about that? Was it like,
Indifferent, man. I had zero feelings.
can I be like really cheesy, like we're boys? Was it like Walter White in Breaking Bad where he goes and just they're like that white noise hits your ear and you're not listening to anything in the room? Did you like zone out?
No.
Or are you
No.
like,
I was completely normal. I
You're
think
cool.
I think I was abnormally normal where everybody
that's
was
why
like,
you call me
"What?"
the negative one.
Yeah, I guess. Because everybody around me was like, why aren't you showing it as
wouldn't
much
have handled it
emotion
like
as
that.
you should be?
Yeah.
I didn't shed a tear.
Shit.
I don't think I could have. I shed a tear one night when I was in the hospital. It was early January and I sent my wife home. And I think I needed one night of my own. And all I remember saying to myself is, what's wrong with me? And that's all I want to know. And I had that and I got it out of my system and I said, that's it. That's all. We don't know what's wrong. That's all, Romi. That's all you're going to get. That's all the emotion you're going to get right now. And maybe it's just the way I was raised. Maybe it's my personality. I don't know. I couldn't put as much emotion as I wanted into it as a normal person would. So then we still don't know the severity. And that's the funny part. The doctor says, you're young, you're healthy. It's probably benign. We're gonna do
Don't even
surgery.
sweat it.
We're gonna do surgery and we're gonna pop it out. So I start joking around with Neetu saying, "Are you gonna get a matching scar tattoo?" And we're like making jokes about that and talking about what the scar is gonna look like, or am I gonna get to see the tumor when you guys take it out? That's gonna be so cool.
You guys have always been very positive like that.
yeah,
Like
we're just
I've
talking
known
about
you guys
things
your
like
whole
that.
relationship. You guys are always joking around like that.
Talking about things like that, and then it was a PET scan that revealed that's where where I should have had my reality check, and that's the PET scan is when to do the full body scan.
Got it.
And non-Hodgkin's lymphoma is in your lymph nodes, and you have them all over your armpits, your throat, your groin, your ankles. and they had found that it was in multiple parts. So it was showing in multiple parts, and when it metastasizes, I want to say, and that's when
What's
it
that mean?
spreads.
It spreads, yeah.
Spreads. It had spread very quick, in their opinion, and they had labeled it stage 4.
Fuck.
Right. So
Sorry.
and we all know there's no such thing as stage 5. But even at that, like,
So you had stage 4 cancer.
yes, yeah.
And that's like,
I don't know. I can't say because
but like
I'm still here.
typically speaking, that's like
There's no stage 5.
the end of the road
Yeah.
for most.
Yeah, because that was January 11th.
January
12th was my sister's birthday. We went to Cactus. January 14th was the Monday. That's when my chemo started. So they started it right away.
So do you know, like, I don't know if this was like, see, this is where I start going down the rabbit hole about things. So I'm very like, yo, what's the stats on stage 4 cancer survival? Period. End of sentence. Not different types of cancers.
You can't say period. There's honestly, I
researched
it. I researched.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious.
So many different types of cancers out there.
So they don't have those like
mine
generic.
Mine had. I think it was like. I mean, don't quote me. I'm referencing Wikipedia here.
But stop for a second. You survived it. We should drink to that. There's not much in here, but we should drink to that. We'll get the refill in a minute. Cheers to that.
I mean,
we're the only 2 idiots that laugh about this, so please don't stop listening
No.
to this podcast.
This
is a very positive person who made jokes during his treatment, which we'll get into later. but going back to your sisters,
yeah, we went to Cactus Club on the Saturday for her birthday. She
Yeah.
obviously flew in from Australia. She was living in Australia at the time. Wanted to be here because knew something was wrong. Or they extended their trip. They were here for Christmas anyways.
Yeah.
So they extended their trip. And so Monday we meet with the oncologist and the nurse oncologist and everything. And we find out the nitty gritty about it all and what's going to happen and how many treatments I need and what they feel. And I've already Googled everything over the weekend now. All the different types of cancers, survival rates, all that.
Yeah.
According to Wikipedia, so here's my reference. It might
Yeah.
be more, it might be less, but there's a 65% survival rate. But it's really awkwardly worded on Wikipedia. It says 65% chance of living 5 more years. Very weird.
While being treated? Or you don't know?
I don't know.
And you've been cancer-free for?
8 months? No, almost a year?
More than
A bit over a year.
More than a year, no?
No, officially cancer-free because Neeta was pregnant. So my oncologist had already known we were having a kid.
While you have cancer?
No, so I did 6 treatments.
Yeah.
6 chemo sessions that were spanned over 3 weeks each. And then after that, what happens is, so that was up until June of 2019. And then it's 1 full year of every 2 to 3 months, get your blood work done, get an x-ray done.
They don't consider you cancer-free at that point.
They don't consider you cancer-free until they hit that 1 year mark of
you
nothing coming back.
So now you're in remission.
So now I guess they would call it, remission.
They call it remission. Okay.
Right? So and it sucked because COVID was around when my oncologist turned around to me and said, "This is the last time I'm going to see you probably for a long time." I think there might be one more checkup at 5 years. I'm not too sure, but I didn't even process that. I walked out of BC Cancer at Surrey Memorial, and I got into my car, and I was like, "Oh shit." I didn't even hug this guy. I didn't give him a handshake. Nothing. It was COVID at the time, so like
everyone's scared.
Everyone's scared. I'm not really thinking about it.
This is 2020.
This is 2020.
You're talking like when we were still like washing our vegetables with Lysol.
Exactly, and drinking it too.
You're like those COVID's got its own little vibes. So, anyways, go on.
And then I'm still not fathoming how big of news that is until I call my wife and I'm driving home and I was like, "Yeah," he said, "We're done. No more appointments. No more checkups."
You went by yourself?
Yeah, just another checkup.
Dog, you crazy.
And she starts crying on the phone, and I was like, "Why are you crying?" And she goes, "This is it.
Yeah,
you're cancer free.
Yeah,
you don't have to ever go back. Like, chill. Like,
but it ain't like that."
And I'm driving home, and I was like, "Oh, I guess so." But I was like, "Don't get so emotional about it. It's just another day. There's a lot to do. We still got bills to pay."
That's a positive mindset, man. That's the
bills
one.
to pay.
Like, you're the guy.
Our bills aren't going to stop because, I mean, it's funny enough how often you drop the cancer card when you're sick to get shit your way.
Oh, man.
And I'll say I probably used it once, but there are people around me who would use it multiple times a day
Yeah.
Just because they didn't want to, I don't know.
There's that demographic of people. I mean, we won't get into that, but there's that demographic of people. Who use
And then
the bad doings
one of the
their
big
life.
things was the first thing the oncologist told us was go to a sperm bank. That's the first thing he said.
Oh, okay.
He goes, in case,
Yeah.
in case you become infertile, in case you don't make it through treatment, however it is, go to a sperm bank. And there's one that's open on weekends for cancer patients specifically, and they provide the service for free for cancer patients. So
That's not a free service.
it's not, because you have to pay storage fees, you have to pay the initial, all that kind of stuff. So we do that. And I'm blessed to say today that we didn't need to do that. And now we have a beautiful 14-month-old, and she's awesome. She's like the light of my day.
B&B in the back
she's
of
my.
the
That's who she is. That's the light of my day. And working from home now, getting to spend all the time with her and just hang out with her and just see her grow, and not being in an office or being with clients. And I think the world has opened up to more of a work-life balance than it used to be.
Yeah.
Some people like to take advantage of it, which pisses me off a little bit.
Yeah. We won't get into
I feel
that.
bad for a couple managers out there, but
We're not allowed to get. You
my
told
sister's
me,
a manager.
You told me what we're not allowed to get into.
My
So
sister's
I'm just keeping
my
you on
sister's a
track.
manager out there, and
Yeah, yeah.
she tells me about things that people do to
Yeah.
avoid working. But yeah, just having that flexibility now and kind of working around that, and still being, successful at the work that I do, and having clients who trust me, and having relationships and friendships with my clients as well. And
now you're lending money to
so now I am
healthcare professionals.
commercial account manager with RBC, specializing in the industry of healthcare professionals, which includes doctors, dentists, vets, and optometrists. So I lend to their commercial needs. I lend to their investment needs. We grow their business if they're going to build out a clinic, if they're going to buy property, whatever it is. I'm your guy.
Personal property, residential property.
Typically, so I have a team that I work with, a family office that I work with. So we do have a mortgage specialist who specializes in healthcare, but we take a team approach to them.
And you manage them.
I manage the commercial aspect, so the business, the professional corps.
Got it.
So I'll manage that, and it's rewarding, man, because now I've put myself there. I've been through it. I know what they go through. I've been in that system. Right?
Yeah.
A lot of my clients know about my story, and they're appreciative that I can talk so freely about it. We started the big GoFundMe.
Yeah.
And that meant that I think that was when you said what was going through my mind when I found out, and when I had my first chemo session. What I said to myself was, what legacy have I left behind if this doesn't work out? Have I done enough? I don't know what enough is. Because to some people, enough is moving out of your parents' house. And to some people, enough is having 15 houses and all the beautiful cars in the world.
Yeah.
What's my enough?
Yeah.
And I didn't know what that was. And my enough was that it turned out to be, I want to give back. I have to give back.
Yeah.
Right? Because you have to be a rational person all the time to think, there's a chance that I don't make it. But I'm going to beat the shit out of this cancer. This cancer has no chance against me.
I never felt that from you. Like when I came and saw you, I never felt that from you.
It had no chance against me.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, round 2 you want to go, round 2 let's go.
But
let's never get there.
Yeah,
I now understand when people say I would never wish death upon anybody else. I would never wish chemotherapy on anybody else because it's
I saw you
it's
during
not
that.
fun. Yeah, you saw me.
Let's
during
talk about that for a second. So
and I didn't look like myself. I was a guy who prided myself on my hair, and I was, I always wanted to look nice and smell nice, and working in a bank job, you're always wearing a suit, so appearance was important. So then you start looking like what are the airheads? You start looking like an airhead.
Yeah.
I'm looking in the mirror and I was like, and what I did.
Well, I didn't think you looked like an airhead.
What I did though was
I'm agreeing with appearance is important. Like cause me and you clicked on that.
Yeah.
We'd go shopping and shit
Yeah,
together.
I'd be like, should we buy
and
this?
remember when
Should
we went and bought those Ralph Lauren polo shoes because we thought we were so slick.
That was
with
in the States.
With the jean shoes
Bellingham?
in the States. Yeah, we thought we were
Jean
so slick.
shoes.
We were like 22, 23 years old, 24 years
still
old.
have them.
I don't have them.
I still have
I
them.
wish I still had them.
I still have
I
them.
see them at Nordstrom all the time and I'm like, I can go for those.
And funny enough, we're doing a big cleanup of the house and I refuse to throw them out.
Yeah, because those were like those. See,
But I've never worn them.
But I agree.
I've never
with
worn
you.
them.
And I came and saw you though. Now fast forward. Now this is like. So I
I
saw you twice during your.
So
cancer
shout out to Money the barber.
Monday. Money. Sorry.
Money the barber.
Okay.
He's gonna get a big plug right here.
There's a tag right here.
Whoop.
At
at Money the Barber.
Okay, cool.
And he provided a free haircut for everybody who agreed to shave their head for me.
I remember that.
And the reason I did that myself was what I was told was the biggest shock you get through chemotherapy is losing your hair. So I said, instead of losing it slowly, because after the first treatment, I already saw a few hairs on my bed, on my pillow, in the shower. I said, you know what? Let's just get rid of it. See how I look. That wasn't the shock that, what shocked me was eyebrows. That's when I was like, oh, now I look like a patient. You know when you see when you see somebody pale, and now I understand they're jokes, but somebody's like, oh man, you look like a cancer patient.
Yeah.
I looked like a cancer patient. I had bags under my eyes.
You still joke like that?
I do all the time.
But you're easy going. But like a lot of people,
You gotta have fun. And some people are sensitive, but that's okay.
I stopped making those kind of jokes after you went through it.
Yeah, you have to. They're funny jokes. You have to be able to make jokes like that. You have to be able to understand it's a joke too. But like I would make jokes about myself. Like I would start scaring people.
So when I saw you, actually going into that joke, I saw you twice.
Yeah.
First time I saw you, I think you had just been diagnosed. I remember I got that text. I was pretty shook. I was like, didn't know how to act.
I think that's one story that everybody likes to tell me.
I
What they
didn't know
were
how to
doing
act.
or what they felt when they found out.
Yeah, I was middle of Christmas stuff. Like I was sitting in Victoria or whatever, at Mun's parents' house, and I just didn't know how to act. I was like, what the
Yeah. Well, you don't.
Me and you were just like kind of like start talking again, but like obviously there's years and years and all of that stuff, and then I told Mun, and Mun didn't know what to think, and I didn't know what to think, and then I was like, okay, whatever, and then like kind of trying processing, and then like I came and saw you. Fast forward into when you're like, you know,
I was
into
I think I was
start.
I think I was. You came and saw me. I think I was like third treatment in.
But like no,
Oh,
I
you
saw
saw
you
me
twice.
early. Yeah, you
I
saw
saw you
me
the
at
first
the
time,
beginning.
and Nitu's at home. Your dad's there.
Yeah.
You got tradesmen inside doing something into the house to like make the house suitable for whatever was about to start. And your dad's like, just go find me like a liquor store or something, or like a convenience store or something that's just like self-generating and pays like enough money to like feed me, your auntie.
We still have that dream.
You know,
We
and
still
he's
want
like,
to.
I don't care anymore. Like this is what's important to me. And I was like, I didn't know how to act. Like I was having emotional overload because I was like, yo, I don't know how to act. Because the last time I had been to your house was at your birthday party, like 4 years prior. Everyone's like having drinks and like grilling burgers and having jokes. So that was the first time, and you were still being mad calm about it, but you were a little bit more quiet than usual. I could tell.
I was getting a lot of hate for how positive I was.
Yeah, I feel you. Punjabi community, right?
Punjabi-
Like you should be sad. You should be sad.
It was pre-absos.
You should be sad.
Yes.
Like
Yes.
But
I was trying to get forced to go to the Gurdwara.
and your mom's calling, like ringing you off the hook. Like I remember that.
Yeah.
And then the next time I saw you was when it was just me and you, and I didn't have the courage to see you. I'm being real with you.
Yeah.
I don't know if I told you. I told you this when we were.
You told me after. You told me.
I didn't have the courage to see this guy. I was like, yo.
You popped by.
I put on a suit for no reason. I didn't have appointments that day.
Oh, okay.
I made up fake
appointments,
appointments, and I was like, I had the day off work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I gotta go see him. And I just didn't have in my heart to see you. Selfishly, I just didn't want to see you like that.
Yeah, no. I
Selfishly,
completely
because
understand
we're always
that.
like
some
laughing,
of my best
joking.
friends. Some of my best friends who shaved their heads for me didn't come and see me in the hospital.
Because they don't have the heart to.
I can understand that. I appreciate that.
But I remember talking to my wife about it, and I'm like, I really need to see Romi, but I just can't do it. And she's like, why? And I was like, I just can't see him like that. And she's like, he has to look at himself like that.
Yeah.
So like, why are you making this about you? Shut up and go see him.
Yeah.
So then I like start ironing the suit. and then I'm
your
like,
pocket square ready.
Getting a pocket square. And then she's like, what the fuck? Are you going to work? I was like, I don't want to tell him that I'm coming to see him, because if I go in a jumpsuit, I'm going to start crying. Sweatsuit. If I go in a sweatsuit or a jumpsuit, I'm going to start crying. At least if I have my business suit on, I'll make up a reason. I'll go see him.
Oh, just in the area.
I was like, yo, bro, I was just at a listing appointment down the road, just listing a townhouse down the road. Or
here I am on Realtor.com. Like, which one was it?
And this guy goes, and this is the joke he told. So this is around the end of Game of Thrones. So Game of Thrones fans, beware.
That was the big thing that I did during treatment.
He goes, it was like springtime, right? It was like around
Yeah,
springtime.
yeah, it
You
would've
go,
been mid-treatment,
yo,
would've been like
we're
April,
getting
May.
we're getting a landscaping done. So there's like these
Yeah.
like desi tradesmen running in and out of my house. So my dad told me to just chill and make sure they do their job properly. So I'm just chilling on the porch, looking like Bran from Game of Thrones.
Now I remember.
And I was like, yo, what the are you
Bran from Game of
talking about,
Thrones.
bro? Like, are you used to make a joke about like a guy who can't move and you're like, I can't really move. And then I came and saw you and like, that was you and your worst. Like
That
you,
was me and my
like,
worst.
You were like a different color.
Third treatment.
Yeah.
I remember after the third treatment, I said 3 more to go, and that's it.
And you were huffing and puffing walking up the stairs.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. And you still gave me a house tour.
Yeah.
You're like, what's my house worth? I was like, shut the fuck up. I was like, just sit down, bro. And you're like, what's
Look at
my
my
house
view.
worth?
I took you to my bedroom.
Yeah, you
Look at
took
my
me to
view.
the-
What do you
look
think
at
this is
my
worth?
view. And I was like, guy, like just chill. Like I remember
We
saying,
walked downstairs. I'm sweating buckets
and I was
through
like,
my
Romi,
shirt.
like just stop, bro. Like I don't need to see your house. Like I've seen this house. Like I know the builder. Like I've seen all of them are the same.
Yeah,
I've
they're all
sold
the same.
5 of them on the street, and you're like, no, but
My
mine's
view.
better. Mine's better. And I was like, okay. So we're going up, and you're just
Yeah.
like you were in the thick of it.
That was, because I remember I got through my 4th treatment, and then the 4th treatment sucked.
Yeah.
But the 4th treatment was where I was just like, I'm not going to 5 and 6. I said, forget it. I think I'm better. I think I'm healed.
Like you were ready to give up.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't need to go to treatment 5 and 6. No. Like, my body, like, F that.
Damn.
Like, it's like you're hungover for like 2 weeks, man. But you're not hungover the Friday night you go and party your ass off.
Yeah.
And then Saturday you wake up feeling like a pile of shit.
Yeah.
You know when Sunday you still feel gray?
Yeah.
Or when you party on a Saturday and you go to work on Monday and you're like, oh, I'm still kind of like sluggish. You're that sluggish for 2 weeks until your next treatment.
And then it's just like getting
And then
hit
it's
by
just
a
restart
bulldozer
button,
again.
restart button.
Shit.
You lose your taste. Your tongue starts to dry up and look like a fucking reptile tongue, and you gotta take medication for that. Luckily, I didn't have nausea and shit, which I'm happy about. I didn't throw up and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, like just food doesn't taste the same. You're trying to find. You're starting to eat shit you would never eat before. I was like, give me a tomato, maybe a tomato. Maybe my body wants tomato right now. So I ate a tomato, which I never thought I'd do in my life. I ate tomatoes. And no.
I remember you ate tomatoes actually now that you mentioned that. But yeah. That's wild, man. But you beat it.
Anda sandwiches, man. For 6 months. That was my treatment food. Regular McVitie's chips, because it had the crunch feeling, popsicles, and anda sandwiches. That was like the diet. So if you want to lose 25 pounds, maybe 24 of it due to chemo, but that 1 pound, anda sandwiches, bro.
Calorie influx of anda sandwich, egg
the
sandwiches.
Yeah,
So what,
I
you'd
survived
make an
cancer,
omelet,
but now I have a cholesterol problem.
You make an egg sandwich. You make an egg sandwich and put it like in 2 pieces of like white bread or something. Like you were not on some crazy organic. Like some people are like, oh, like
Well,
I went like nuts. Cause I remember your mom, your wife was like,
They
she
were
was
trying
all
everything
over
to
you.
make me like a vegan, pretty much. And I said no. Because you got to realize there's 2 ways to look at this. And this was my philosophy around
You ever
this.
die hungry, you die full. Like that's what you're thinking?
If you
you-
think you're gonna die, it better be
Fucking
with
on
a
a full
full belly, and there better be a steak in that stomach. And that's how I had to live.
You were thinking like that.
Well, not just thinking like that, but it maybe that small perspective that it put my life into was there's people who smoke cigarettes until they're 90 and they're still kicking about.
Yeah.
And there are athletes that die at 30. You don't know what's gonna happen and when it's gonna happen. So
Because there's so much information
there's
out there.
so much that can happen. The air you breathe can kill you or whatever it is. And this is pre-COVID me thinking about all this. So there would be nights where I'd call my boys up and I said, listen, we're going to Original Joe's on 176 and Highway 10. We're getting drunk tonight. And they were all how you felt. Like, we don't feel comfortable. Romi, maybe you shouldn't be drinking. But I said,
Yeah, because
listen.
you were having boys' nights. Like
And
you
I
were
said,
texting me,
"Listen,
and I was like,
I
I'm not partaking
it's
in
the first
this.
time that mental health really took a factor of my life where I said, no, you guys don't realize I need this.
You just had to stay positive.
I gotta, because I can see myself starting to become negative in my own head, even though I'm not portraying it out to other people, but I need this. I need this. I need to go. I don't care how unhealthy it is. I'm going to eat wings. I'm going to eat all the junk food. I'm going to drink. We're going to have tequila shots tonight. We're going to have a great night. And they would come out and that's what and they were there for the support. They were, even though they were like, Romi, maybe you shouldn't be doing this. Take it easy. They were like, we're still going to be there to support you. And we're not going to say no to you because this is what you want. And I had to explain to them to say, yeah, it is what I want, because if I croak tomorrow...
Jimmy and the gang,
man. Jimmy,
Soy, TJ, all the boys. I was like,
Jerome, Mandy, shout out to everybody. But
I still remember those boys from back in the day.
Yeah, but that's just where my mindset went, was, they, start going for runs, start eating healthy. People will say that shit to you all the time. Do that.
I think I came in with some bullshit advice like that too.
I agree with that. Do that if that's what makes you happy. But it's why should I put myself to do all that? I hate running. I love playing soccer. But if you tell me to run up and down the street 15 times as a workout, I hate that. So I'm not going to do it because it doesn't make me happy.
Yeah.
And where the mindset started changing was, if I fall over and croak tomorrow, the last thing that I did was go for a run. Come on, man. I'm not going out in style then. Because we don't know when we're going to go.
We have to go out in style. Listen to some Johnny Z, Horta Man, Nacional. You trying to have some vibes right now?
And I'm dancing around the house.
You want to dance around and be like, okay, cool, this is the heart attack that did it.
This is,
like, you know what I mean? Like, that's the one.
It needs to be in style. Because you can't say, my diagnosis, there was zero cause.
Yeah.
To this day, my oncologist would say, I don't know why you got it. It wasn't genetics. It wasn't because of this. It wasn't because of that. He kept calling it, I don't know, I don't know. So if you don't know, there are days where my mentality was, hey, maybe I just hit a restart button for 28 more years.
Maybe.
And you don't know. So if you don't know, you have to live that mindset. I'll say it to everybody out there, be kind to others, man. Because it goes a long way. It will make you a happier person when you're nicer to other people. Yeah. You will get it in return. And that's one thing of karma that I always walk around with.
Yeah.
People who I'm not friendly with aren't friendly with me, and that's just not a pleasant situation.
No, it's not.
Who likes being angry and upset? Nobody. So always be kind. Don't take anything for granted anymore. The biggest cliche that I walk around with is hug your loved ones, and I can't stress that enough. Like my daughter is my life.
Yeah.
Every morning, I'm the one that I'm bracing Neetu to wake her up. I want to wake her up, and I give her a bath like every night. We have our schedule that me and Neetu work on. That's the highlight of my day. I crank Johnny Z, and I have the Bose speaker in her washroom. We crank tunes and we dance while giving her a bath.
Your daughter is gonna be the only person who listens to 90s UK Punjabi.
She 100%
in like 20 years. And that's like of that era.
Speaking as much Punjabi as I can with her, trying to savor that heritage that we have, because I think
because we grew up like directly with it, like so it was fine. But now it's like it's second to our kids, or like your kids and our future kids, whatever.
Like
right?
my Instagram bio.
Yeah.
I live my life like my blood type. Be positive. And I love that.
Yeah.
My work sign off. I have a quote in my work email, and it's what is it? I'm not here to compete with anyone. Yeah. I hope we all make it. So there's banks out there, if they can do better things, or there's somebody better there. I just, nothing bugs me anymore. And sometimes it's an issue. But nothing bugs me anymore.
It's an issue for everyone around you, but not so much an issue for you.
Nothing bugs me anymore.
Yeah.
Right?
Being positive is harder than it is being negative, and that's
being
why
negative
that's
is
why
so
you
easy.
call me Negatron. Yeah. I'm not negative. I'm just more negative than him. But he's insanely positive, so I can't be. But thanks for coming on the show, bro.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for telling your story. And I think if there's a takeaway here is we need to all be more like Romi, or your hashtag was Gilly Strong, right?
Gill Strong.
Gill Strong.
We did the Gill Strong Foundation.
Gill Strong.
Working off of Gilly Kachi, which we all, and it's
Instagram.
on the bracelets.
His Instagram, by the way, IG, he's not messing around. His Instagram handle, he's a 31-year-old. 31. I'm 32. He's a 31-year-old man whose Instagram handle is still Gilly Kachi.
Never change.
Which is wet underwear.
Never
in
change.
Punjabi.
Neetu, for one day after we got married, was Mrs. Gilly Kachi, and she said, I can't do it.
She's like, I can't live with that.
I never changed from day one.
I will not take that last name.
From day one.
Gilly Kachi.
I'll never change it. Never change who I am.
No, and you shouldn't, bro.
For no one.
Thank you for being on the show, man. Love you.
Pleasure.
This is the Dave Bawa Homes Podcast. Thank you for watching episode 1. Next week, we're going to have someone special. Don't know how special. Someone special. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.